Hey everyone, this is my very first stream ever, and I am working out some bugs. There we go. Hey, it's working. How about that? And I am mucking with all the things. Could my tech give me a hand here? I have switched again. There we go. Yeah. So what I would like to talk about here is embracing emotion to manage burnout. We have all felt a level of burnout at some point. And evening. You know, what the pop psych catalogs and everything recommend. Doesn't always work the way we want it to. Let's see, who have we got in the side chat? Video and sound are great. Yay! I have luck. That's a good buddy of mine. Having good support from people is a major player in burnout, and one of my producers is being vocal. Ugh, I don't need these anymore. That's too hot.
Ignore the screen.
Hey, would you like to talk to the people?
No.
No? No? Come talk to the people. Why not?
Throw people at me.
Yeah, so, I married this people, and he and I have been discussing burnout and stuff forever. Yeah, so yeah. What's your take on burnout? It sucks?
Certainly seems to.
Yeah.
It hasn't been me yet, but no. I assume yet is the actual truth there.
Really? You haven't felt burned out ever on anything?
Not for long enough that I'd call it burnout.
So there are different kinds of burnout. You've got relationship burnout. You've got professional burnout. I don't know. We don't have children. We've got cats. Or at the moment, let's call them our producers. You might see them at some point. This is their runway. So if they run by, I don't know, drink a glass of water. Yeah.
In between the shots, yeah. You have to stay hydrated.
He'll hydrate. So now I run into a burnout at least once a year. First burnout I really noticed was 2007, school.
School's a big one.
Just, yeah, so, I don't know, academic burnout, when you're not sure if you've chosen the correct field of study. You're looking at the economy, since it was 2007. Is this actually going to pay the bills? Is this going to be fulfilling? No clue. So, what you gonna do? He'll hydrate, yes. Yeah, perfect. We are figuring this this stuff out. Ish stuff.
Tea brewing.
Oh, could you make me a tea?
I could.
I would appreciate that.
Hey.
A little background on us while I ramble.
Yes.
We are not medical professionals. Neither one of us is a medical professional. He is a technical professional. Oh, names are really good. So my name is Jessica McCormick, or just Jekka. You can call me Jekka.
The producers are Nim and Smidget.
The producers are Nim, and the other one is Smidget. They're negotiating. Oh, here's one. Hi there. This is Smidget. Oh, okay. As they do. Then that one is the human sidekick producer.
Minion.
Minion. Okay, that is Steven or Grox. You can go with either one of those. And our qualifications are that we are human and we have gone through the things and we managed to recover more or less eventually. Sort of. Yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah, my first run with academic burnout was clashing with my personal emotional burnout, trying to figure out just what I want to do with my life. Am I going to be successful? Uh, the typical existential stuff when you're supposed to be getting out into the real world. I ended up scheduling an appointment with my primary care provider and was prescribed an SSRI. I don't really want to put prescriptions or any medication names or brands, generic or otherwise, on the stream, but she prescribed it. It didn't work out very well. I was constantly falling asleep. Um, so they cats. Sorry. It did get me through a year without panicking. Symptoms of burnout can be, just anxiety, depression. Symptoms of those. you you might be irritable. You might sleep more than usual. You might run amok. Yes. Yeah. Um, you could have brain fog. I mean, I'm sure everybody has felt it at some point. Could you not eat my background, please? Thank you. So the first thing you would want to do is talk to your primary care physician if you have one. Maybe we should have gone to the studio. I am in a community band. One of my ways of handling or of preventing burnout is music. I'm a singer. I play the alto saxophone. And I asked the owner of the studio that we rehearsed in if I could borrow one of the recording booths for the night, and everything was really quiet around here. The cats have been sleeping all day, but of course, as soon as you need to do something, that's when they wake up. I should have known better. So, in any case, the first thing you want to do is really just sit down, take a look at what you're doing, how you're feeling. You can write it down, do the typical write a letter to yourself. But when you're at that place where you're just stuck and spinning your wheels and not sure what to do, when you're working a 10-hour job, and you only have so many hours in a day, you can't really devote so much time to waking up early to meditate because your shift starts at 5 a.m. You can't really go to bed earlier because then you don't have a social life, and of course there's fix your own lunch so that you can be sure to eat something healthier, because then there goes your me time, so you can sit down and play Animal Crossing or choose your poison.
I'm just
You may
checking
join.
chat.
So this is one of the specimens that has helped me manage my burnout. Having a good support group.
I'm going to claim this because I'm more stubborn than you.
Oh, battle then. Saying way too often. Can you tell that this is my first solo panel? Nervous, thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What made me think I could do this? There was an application to fill out, and I decided to fill it out. What's the worst that could happen? I could sit here for the next 50 minutes making weird mouth sounds, and just blank.
Weird mouth sounds work.
Weird mouth sounds, yes. So you'll if you're looking up WebMD or using your Google Food to figure out how to manage your burnout, expect to see a lot of get more exercise, sleep more, eat more. A lot of things that are going to take up valuable time that you don't have. What I would like to focus on is acknowledging how you're feeling, because it seems that a lot of the professional advice are professional. The doctors, Google, and WebMD are suggesting that you find ways to just escape what you're feeling, put that on the back burner. Whereas if you lean into it, if you accept how you're feeling and find validation, it can go a long way. When one of the biggest hurdles that I had to get over was pride.
Seeking help, yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't ask for help. If I have to ask for help, then I have failed, and I need to double down and be more stubborn and
protect your people.
Protect my people and defend my honor. How dare you suggest I need to ask for help? But no, asking for help is a huge the ability to ask for help is a huge hurdle for a lot of people to get over, because that gives you a feeling of vulnerability that at least the average American probably isn't too comfortable with. Except for this one. So once I was able to accept that, that was the first hurdle to getting better. Because go figure, you ask for help and help arrives. Then you can start figuring out, okay, what is it really that I'm feeling, and what am I trying to fix? The problem with burnout is it's such an umbrella term for everything going on in your life and everything that you're feeling, because it's hopelessness, it's helplessness, it's anger, or sadness. In fact, I've been chatting with one friend who's going through a rough patch, and they had a review coming up, and they needed to compile a presentation, and they weren't sure if it was going to be good enough or if it was going to just utterly fail. And at this point, I just said, "Oh, it's okay. I fail and cry all the time, so you'll get through the other side." And yeah, it's a form of success. Failure is a form of success. Good job, Jessica. Accepting that failure can happen was another hurdle that I had to get over.
Mm-hmm.
letting things break, um, and just building up from the pieces. And I've been very lucky in having a support group uh, that will let me know when at this point that will let me know when I'm grinding a little too hard. One question we have is, I just thought, how do you know what to ask for help for though? Sometimes you don't. Let's start from there. Um, one let's see. One thing that Stephen and I built up was, once I feel that I'm struggling, uh, I can tell him I'm struggling with something. I'm feeling frustrated. I need help. I don't know with what, but here's everything that I'm feeling. Um, and within my network of friends and support, I can talk to people about what I'm going through, what my projects are. One friend, I might just talk about, you know, repairs that I need to make on my car, and it's cheesing me off that I can't do that right now, or how I want to do it because of obvious limitations. I'm not a mechanic, so I can't do that myself. So, the validation in the feedback I get from them is invaluable. Just saying, I need to fix these things on my car and I can't do that right now, and it's really frustrating to have somebody say, yeah, that is annoying. Um, Having someone validate that what you're feeling makes sense, there's a logic to it, can go a long way in uh, fortifying your own personal, I would say, defenses. I have a very demanding producer. Um, One anecdote from high school, I had to move around a lot. And before moving from one high school to another, I was trying out for one of the teams, and I knew that I would not be around for the first competition. So um, I had to go up to my coach and say, I have to cut myself from the team. Uh, Even though I could still go to all these practices for the next several weeks, it just would not be fair if someone else got cut in that time leading up to the next competition. And yeah, it was really heartbreaking, and I was having trouble focusing in school just because of how much that loss was really eating at me. And I did talk to my friends about that. My parents told me, well, yeah, but we're moving, so what else could you do? And that's logical. And I was very annoyed with myself for still feeling hurt and distracted until uh, until my family went to this nice get together send off dinner, and I again told that story just because it was still eating at me. And one of my parents' friends said, that's very noble of you, to make space for someone else, especially when it's such a loss. And that was the first time anybody had acknowledged the loss I was feeling. And I was still sad, but that complete despair was gone. And it made, um, there were a lot of challenges with that move, but it made that aspect of it, detaching from my team, um, a little more manageable. The producer's back. Hi, what you have to say? And so let's see. Checking my side chat here.
No questions.
All good? Okay. Well, just remember, you're here forever.
Mm-hmm. No escape for me.
No. And acceptance is, a true way out of burnout.
My fate is sealed.
No, and I think acceptance is a bit of a, I don't know, bastardized concept. A butchered concept, certainly. Because just because you're accepting what your situation is doesn't mean you necessarily like it. You don't need to give into it. You don't need to be happy with it. But seeing the situation for what it is and finding people who can relate will go a long way. And there's a phrase I keep using, but it's true. It's very true. I know that a lot of people are feeling professional burnout from potentially hostile, toxic, or just overall unhealthy work environments. And those can be difficult to get away from. Another common theme I see in the online pop psych help sections is maybe it's time to change careers. And that's great if you have a safety net, if you have savings to get you through that transition. But if it isn't really an option, then the best option right there is to reach. Oh dear. Okay, lady, can you tell us what you think? How about yeah, cats? We can get through all of this because cats. Do you want your blanket? Okay. My minion is taking care of the cat. But here's the cool thing about tough jobs. I had a rather thankless job working maintenance and custodial for my university when I was going for my undergrad. If it were economically sustainable for us, but minimum wage. Yeah, but that's another conversation. But yeah, just constantly fixing things that students are breaking, cleaning things that shouldn't be touched. I had a pretty cool crew to work with though, so after 2 hours of trying to correct something that somebody else tried to fix, knowing that okay, you're going to be you're going to be working on this tomorrow. Being able to come back to the shop and just say, okay, I survived. Man, that sucked. And having a round of coworkers just lift up their water bottles and say, yeah, man, same time tomorrow. I could, yeah, just having that sort of camaraderie, I could do that forever. But then fast forward to a couple of years ago, I had a boss who was a little, shall we say, full of himself. And I was not okay with that. And right now, I am in a situation where I can turn down jobs that aren't healthy for me, that stick me in environments that will not be sustainable for me. I ran this by a couple friends, of course, my minion, and just said, I don't think I can do this. And they said, yeah, just walk away because, cut your losses. Plus, it would not be worth their time to listen to me complain about this job. And it paid well. But there is a saying that I really like: people don't leave bad jobs, people leave bad bosses. And this is where I would ask people to do some self-reflection, like analyze what kind of worker you are. We can just go first with the leader or follower dichotomy. Dichotomy? We'll go with dichotomy. I myself am a leader. I wouldn't say a reluctant leader. Well, usually. Sometimes, yes. I never expected to find myself in positions of leadership. I always thought of myself as a follower, and as I grew into my leadership positions, I just became more and more annoyed with people who do not, with so-called leaders who do not understand that, as one friend of mine once wrote, leadership is beyond them. It isn't who you are necessarily that makes you a leader, it's who's following you and why are they following you. Like, some of these crazy bastages, why are they following me? Who are they? Why do they keep calling me mom? They don't call me mom. But, how if you're a leader, how do you treat people who are looking to you for help? If you are a follower, what do you need from the person you're looking to? If you're a follower, are you burning out because you're just not being given enough? Like, you can see that your leader, and just think of that in a more possessive sense. Like, this is the person that I'm looking to for leadership. Mine. And I want to support this person so that we can keep this ship moving. If they're taking on too much themselves, then they're failing you. Sorry to say. And that's something that I had to learn. Like, one of my side projects, it took me a while to understand that I was doing 5 people's jobs. It's just, oh, I'll take care of this one little thing. The little things add up quickly. Like, I can't see how many people are watching right now, but I'm sure there are a few of you who volunteer with conventions. And you wonder, how did did it come to this? How am I now in charge of this department when all I wanted to do was run cables? That's all I showed up for, and now I'm leading this this effort. It starts with, okay, you're gonna collect the cables and run them to people who need them. Now you're laying the cables, you're gaffing the cables. Then you're setting up the entire sound stage. Or I'm not in the tech crew, so that is the end of my analogy. It can take a bit of untangling, but if you look at yourself like a puzzle, just work backwards. Start with, okay, like where you're sitting. Like, I am in this living room right now. I am feeling a little overwhelmed because I've never done a panel before. Why am I doing this panel? Because I know that a lot of people are hard on themselves, and I will go out of my way to help people feel better, if I can, in any way. And just keep asking why for each thing. And it can go down, you can go all the way back to the basics, like, because I want a puppy.
No way.
It really might be disconnected, but when you see just how much goes into what you're feeling, it isn't just it might not be so insurmountable, and it gives you a good feel of, I mean, to get philosophical, where you're from and where you're going. Yeah, maybe we should have gone to the studio. It's a nice studio. It can accommodate a full symphony, choirs. If anybody in the San Jose area needs a nice sound studio, send me a message.
Doesn't have cats though.
No, it doesn't have cats. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry, we don't have cats at the studio. I've recommended. It didn't get very far. Recognizing obstacles and accepting defeat, like limitations, yeah. Understanding limitations, like, can't have cats at the studio. Why? Because people are allergic. I'll just take my cats at home. One thing that I've wanted to do is, I'm a vocalist. I do singing. And for a long time, I thought, well, I'd like to get into voice acting. So I read a bunch of blogs. I listened to podcasts. Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson, look it up. I have his autograph on that wall. You can probably see a bit of reflections in my Zelda poster here. Just, yeah, Nerd Central. I am so proud of it. But when, as I was listening to that particular podcast, is to distill it, I understood I don't use my voice enough. Like, during the day, I am talking with people almost nonstop, but it's online, it's virtual. And I would need to take steps to strengthen my vocal faculties if I wanted a career in voice acting, which is not something I currently feel comfortable with. So that's my limitation right now, and I can accept that. There's a documentary called I Know That Voice, And when I watched that documentary, this was a little, this was like during one of my growing pains of what am I, what am I missing? Like after I'd learned I need to exercise my vocals more. Okay, I can do that. Okay, what else? I don't live near any of the studios, nor do I really want to move in that direction physically at any time that I can currently foresee. And understanding that helped me just put voice acting to the side for a bit. One thing that I am currently grappling with is I am a writer. I do enjoy writing, and struggling with my depression and then working through it, understanding that my depression comes from an anxiety disorder that I'm currently working with a medical professional to treat. Now that I have that under control, I can focus more on what I need to trains of thought all colliding. I had to take a lot of steps to get my mental faculties in order so that I could relax into writing. In high school, when I was around 15, I think that's when I started feeling when I remember really feeling what I would consider depression. I think that's when my anxiety was manifesting. And up until my freshman university year, I could just sit down, give me a writing prompt, and away I would go. Once my responsibilities started accumulating, that's when my anxiety really took off, and I found myself just steeped in depression. And that was one of my sources of burnout. But surrounding myself with people, really looking for people to bring into my life that could support me, and honestly, whom I could also support, because I strongly believe that as long as you're surrounded by people that you can learn from and who could learn from you, just that constant give and take, then you have a good, that's what gives you an overall view of yourself. I can't ignore the cat. Are you crazy? Well, he's not. He's the perfectly sane cat dude. He has the t-shirt.
I have the t-shirt to prove it.
Yeah, he has the t-shirt to prove it. I'd like to call myself a crazy cat lady, but we have established I'm a crazy plant lady. So, exhibit B in embracing my emotion of what the heck am I doing? Why did I think I could do a panel? Yeah. Next time I do this panel, I will have all of the bugs figured out. I'll have a functioning slide deck that plays nice with all of the with all of the technology. At the beginning of this, I admitted to the tech crew, yeah, in my hubris, I just assumed I could slap this all together and away I'd go. Like I could get all the software to work nicely, and nope. It didn't work out. So okay, we good. Roll with it. So accepting these little calamities not beating myself up for it. Um, also helps me prevent feeling burned out when I just think, why do I keep doing this? Or why do I keep trying new things when a lot of stuff's just going to fail? Um, and that actually is a conversation that I had with my minion, well, many times at this point. But I just, end of the day, fell into bed, face planted into my pillow. Didn't have the energy to scream, but groaned in existential pain and just asked, why? Why do I keep failing? And in one of many moments of clarity, it's always easier to see stuff from the outside. I was informed that I just keep trying different stuff. And I'm willing to bet that everyone watching this panel is in a position to, is in a similar position where you're always trying new things and it doesn't always work out. But that's part of the learning process. I mean, you're trying new things because they interest you, and that is a credit to you. So if that particular thing didn't work, that's fine. You can try again. You can try something new. Try something similar, or take a break. Like in my case, I want to write a book, and if I hit this wall where I'm just not I'm not making any progress, I might do a 180 and decide, okay, I'm just gonna go see if I can practice. If I let's see if I can pick up crocheting again, something completely different. And as I get ideas, keep a notepad nearby, jot them down, just get away from the screen, and doing something else has amazing potential to give you new ideas for your primary endeavors. Say hi, everyone. Oh, okay. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah. So, I've got 6 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions or feedback? Or, I don't know, anybody want to know about the cats? I'm cool with that too. I do have a few friends who manage their burnout by fostering for their local animal shelter. So at any given time, I could be chatting with a friend who has one senior cat just lounging on their lap, or I could hear a litter of puppies barking in the background. It's just hearing that going on is actually pretty soothing for me personally. Um, Cold showers. I've done that. Like end of the day. Gosh. Um, I can't remember what it was in middle school, but I was just so embarrassed. I remember feeling so embarrassed. I had like the perfect bad day. I walked into the wrong classroom, which, uh, of course, is for some reason humiliating. Um, I spoke loudly on the bus when suddenly it got really quiet, and nah, I just got home with a little storm cloud over my head. My mom asked, "Oh, you okay? Do you want to just go take a shower?" And she's thinking, nice, steam it off. No, ice cold.
Freeze it out.
Freeze it out, yeah. But also, I mean, nice hot showers too. When you need to relax. I hopped in the shower before this panel after seeing someone else say, "Oh yeah, I took a nice soothing bath before my panel," and just yeah, that is a good idea. Yeah,
I approve.
yeah. So the minion likes long, luxurious baths. Just need to get a tiara, some bubbles, fancy wine glass. Would you recommend developing a marketable skill over proficiency over exploring a new hobby? Recommend the inverse, or should it be taken on a case by case basis?
I say case by case. Everything doesn't have to be beneficial.
No, so by
If you want to learn how to gargle while juggling, then learn that.
okay, if you didn't hear that, he said if you want to learn how to gurgle while juggling, do that. I So in February, I graduated with a master's in entrepreneurship and innovation, and there was a smattering of things in that degree that I didn't understand, and it felt very disjointed. But by the end of it, it all came together, and I realized this is all stuff that I know how to do. This is stuff that I've been working on. So you know what? Absolutely. You'd be surprised what's marketable. If you if you want to work on marketable skills, there are a lot of free classes on Coursera right now. Harvard, I believe, is offering free classes.
MIT's doing a lot too.
MIT is. If anybody wants to work on their COBOL, IBM is launching classes for that. And if Harvard and MIT are doing something, I'd be surprised if Stanford isn't.
There.
Yeah. So I would like to thank everybody who tuned in for this, because this was another another experiment, just figuring out, okay, what do I have any idea of what I'm doing and what I want to do? And cheers to everybody who does speaking multiple times a day on a daily basis, because I need to go rest my vocals now. Thank you. Uh, yeah, just thank all of you. um, so have a good rest of the con, and I'm gonna tune into the next stream now. Take care.